Okay, continuing on in Module 4, we're going to learn about X and Y intercepts and plotting and graphing a line using that information. So this is still Module 4. And here we're going to be talking about X and Y intercepts. And then using them to graph a line. Okay, this still corresponds to section 3.2 in your ebook. Okay, so let's just do some definitions first. Definition of an X-intercept. Of a graph is a point, we'll call it A0, and it's basically just where the line intersects the x-axis. So it's where the graph intersects the x-axis. So if I have a graph, let's just say here's my x-axis, here's my y, right? This is my y. If I have some graph, some line like this, this point here is my x-axis, is my x-intercept. My x-intercept. Okay, and the way to find out what that point is, I'll explain that to you in a little bit. To find the y-intercept of a graph is a point 0b, where the graph intersects, guess what, right? The y-axis. So if we take a look at our picture here, that blue dot is my y-intercept, because that's where it intersects the y-axis. Okay. So now we need to find what those points are. So we're finding x and y intercepts. Whoops, boy, I'm not spelling very well here. Intercepts. We find the x-intercept by setting y to 0 and solve for x. Okay, so to find the x-intercept, we set y equal to 0 in our equation, and we solve for x. Right, so the opposite value, the opposite coordinate goes to 0 when we solve for the x value. So guess what happens when we're trying to find the y-intercept, right? So to find the y-intercept, we're going to set x equal to 0 and solve 4y. Okay, so let's try an example here. Let's graph the line x minus 2y equals 4 using the intercept method. Okay, so that means we're going to have to look for the x-intercept, look for the y-intercept, and then we're going to graph it based on those 2 points. All right, so the first thing we're going to have to do is find the x-intercept. Find the x-intercept. And remember, to do that, we set y equal, we set y equal to 0 and solve for x. All right, so here's my original line, x minus 2y equals 4. So if I set y equals 0, I get x minus 2 times 0 equals 4. This goes away, so my x equals 4. So here, my x equals 4, my y equals 0, so my point is 4, 0. And remember, it's the area, it's the point at which it's going to be on the x-axis, right? So there's one point. The next thing I'm going to do is find my y-intercept. And here I'm going to set x equal to 0. So given my x minus 2y equals 4, my original equation, I make x equal 0, minus 2y equals 4. So I get negative 2y equals 4. Right? Divide both sides by negative 2, and I get y equals negative 2. So here I have x equals 0, y equals negative 2, so my point is 0, which is x, negative 2 on my y. Okay, so let's go ahead. Now we have the 2 points, and we could just simply graph. So there's one, there's my x-axis, there's my y-axis, there's my x, there's my y. Let's plot my first point. 4, 0. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4. Since it's my x-intercept, I know it's on the x-axis. Right, so that point is 4, 0. And then I'm going to plot this point, 0, negative 2. Since it's a y-intercept, I know it's on my y-axis. So I just go down 2. So that's 0, negative 2. And so there I have 2 points. And connect the dots. And I've just graphed my line. And I put arrows on the end of the lines just to make sure we know that it goes on forever.